go around the table and see who some of these people are, because most of you I know, but some of you I do not. So we'll start over with our latecomers over here on the left side here.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry it was an emergency, and you're probably happy I didn't come earlier. So,
if you could share with us your name, district, any pertinent data you'd like to throw in there, as well as your astrological sign, that would be fantastic.
my name is Sean Tarwater, District 27, Stillwell, mostly a little bit of Leawood, a little bit of Overland Park. This is the insurance committee. I've been in insurance for 27 some years. Both as an independent agent, as a captive agent, as a consultant, and I've owned a insurance company, offshore reinsurance company. Thanks.
Jeff Underhill, 65th District, Junction City. I'm an insurance agent, independent insurance agent. Worked for a captive agent before, all that good stuff, so that's why I'm here.
Representative Silas Miller from District 86. I am also an independent agent, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm Ken Collins. I'm the 2nd District, which is in southeast Kansas, parts of Crawford and Neosho County. And I'm not currently licensed as an agent, but I have been, even though I never worked in the field. I got licensed, and then I decided to come serve in the legislature instead of going down that career path. So I've been on insurance for quite some time now, and it's a good committee. And congratulations to Chairman Sutton for becoming the chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Representative Emil Berquist from the 91st District, just north of Wichita. Been in experimental aircraft at beach most of my life until recently coming to the House in 18, and I own insurance.
There you go.
Representative Heather Meyer from House District 29, that's Central Overland Park, and I have served, I'm a medical social worker, and I've helped individuals apply for all sorts of insurance through my career, and I'm also someone who has insurance as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Tori Marie Blue, state rep from the Great Bend area. I'm pretty sure I'm the furthest west on this committee, and I'm right in the middle of Kansas. Very excited to be here, first time on this committee, and I am a human resources director for the family business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Patrick Penn, State Representative from House District 85. It's the northeast side of Wichita and a little bit of Butler County as well. This is my first time on the committee. Honored to be appointed as your vice chair. Look forward to working with you all. And I have not let any of my insurance lapse. Oh, and to answer the chair's call, Libras of the world, unite.
All right, I'm Bill Sutton with representative from the 43rd District. I have never worked in insurance, although I was on this committee, not last biennium, but the years before that. Learned a great deal and found out exactly how much I didn't know. So I'm very glad that we're surrounded by folks who have worked in the industry. I imagine we're going to find some on this side too. So that is fantastic, and I look forward to working with all of you.
I'm Representative Cindy Niebuhr. I represent the 18th District, which is what I call the heart of Shawnee. Other representatives have little bits and pieces. I'm an Aries. That might not be to my good side. Anyway, my dad worked for Equitable Life, and I did statistics for him and tables. My daughter is sells disability insurance. And I'm a retired medical administrator, and I also was a COO of a dental practice, so I know medical and dental insurance as well as daily insurance, and know I've got a lot of insurance. and none of it has ever lapsed.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Pat Proctor. I serve the people of Leavenworth, Fort Leavenworth, and Kickapoo as a representative here. I spent a long time in the Army. Me and my wife are small business owners. We own a couple restaurants, and I also teach Wichita State. And so I'm a consumer of insurance, but never worked in it. This is my second term on the committee. My first term, I used to say that this is the committee where I felt dumbest, but now I'm in utilities, so I can no longer say that. So.
Mike Dodson from Manhattan and Riley County. Last term, this insurance was grouped with pensions, and we learned a lot from Stephen Johnson. Man, what a guy. And so hopefully we've absorbed, a lot of us who were on that committee absorbed a lot from him and will be helpful on this committee. So pleasure to serve. Thank you.
Hello, Robin Essex. I represent Olathe, District 78, which was former Speaker Ron Reichman's district. So excited to be here. The only, I would say, experience I have with insurance is that I carry an awful lot and pretty good at having insurance. I also serve on the Olathe City Council, and I'm a Virgo. Are you too? Nice.
Afternoon, I'm Dr. Kirk Haskins. I'm a Gemini. I like long walks on the beach. And no, I am Representative House District 53, and I am Jim Gartner 2.0, I hope. And I am a professor of professional studies for Baker University. I've worked for the Kansas State Department of Ed. I've written curriculum on insurance and taught courses in that area, but I look forward to learning more about it from this level. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cindy Howerton. I'm from District 98, which is South Wichita, North Hayesville, and a little sliver of Derby. I am an area manager for a personal tax return company, so I manage 22 tax offices right now, which is a little crazy.
Hi, everyone. Brandon Woodard from the 108th District, which is in Johnson County, Lenexa, Olathe, and Overland Park. I'm as stereotypical Virgo as they come. I'm back on insurance. I was on it my first term, had so much fun that I came back for the third. Not worked in insurance, but I was an insurance and billing coordinator for a health center and a family practice center many worlds ago, and now I'm a nonprofit fundraiser for a healthcare center in the Kansas City area. Happy to be back.
My name is Leah Howell, House District 82, which is Derby and Mulvane and a little bit of Sumner County, which is right near Wichita. My claim to fame is I have fought with my insurance companies and I have never lost.
Yes, Representative Berquist.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just want to say this is my second go-around on insurance, and I really have learned a lot, and I appreciate being on the committee. I was just speaking in light earlier. Thank you.
Very good. Representative Neighbor, ranking member.
I've been on this committee since I came to the House, and that was, well, this is my 7th term, and I started with Clark Schultz. So if any of you remember that name, he's moved on to some other things now, but I've seen many chairmen, and I think our Commissioner of Insurance is wonderful. So thank you. And I was the only female on the committee.
Okay, so the first one second up. That's awesome. All right, now we have some folks sitting here in the bullpen. I think we ought to get introductions going around here too. Fire away, sure.
My name is Pam Maxwell, and I am the committee assistant for the insurance committee for representing Sutton. And I did work in 2020 as an office assistant before COVID hit, and they sent us home. I'm retired from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and I worked for over 40 years there, and I was in the marketing department more than half of the time that I was there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eileen Ma. I'm from the Office of Revisor of Statutes. This is my 10th session here, and in all of my 10 sessions, I've staffed financial institutions and insurance, and then house insurance for the majority of the sessions that I've been around. Law is a second career for me. Prior to that, I was a human resources professional. And for those of you who haven't fought with your insurance company, it's because someone like me fought them for you. So I'm happy to be here and thrilled to work with all of you.
Hi, I'm audio video for 218, any committees in this room. I don't have anything to do with insurance or anything like that, but yeah.
Hello, my name is David Weiss. I'm also with the Revisor Statutes Office. This is my 13th session. I think I've been involved on the insurance committee or the various iterations of it for all but maybe a couple of those years. I also staff financial institutions and pensions on the House side as well. So, thank you.
Hello, I'm Kate Smeltzer. I work with the Kansas Legislative Research Department. This is my first session, and I'm an Aries, and it's an asset, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I'm Melissa Rennick, the Assistant Director for Research with KLRD. This is my 21st session, my 19th with an Insurance and Financial Institutions Committee. I'm also staffing financial institutions and pensions. When available, Senate FI&I and House Education is new this year.
Excellent. Excellent. I think we have this is going to be fun. Okay, all right. Well, I'm probably going to regret saying this, but at this time, are there any bill introductions? At the table first, I'm going to ask for the members of the committee, are there any bill introductions? Seeing none? All right. In the audience, do we have any bill introductions? Would you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Eric Turk here with the Kansas Insurance Department. I'm the Director of Government and Public Affairs, also an Aries. So we've got a good bunch in this room. The department today has 10 bills for introduction, so if I apologize about the number of bills, but if I need to repeat anything, please let me know. The first bill for introduction is...
Hold on one second. I just want to clarify the ground rules here. If there is we're going to accept these by acclamation unless there is an objection to a bill. So he's going to be going through 10 bills. If you have an objection, make it known to me in one way or another. Wave your hand, jump up and down, scream, fall over, something. Let me know that you have an objection to it, all right? Thank you, Mr. Turek. Go ahead.
Great. The first is RS 0269, which a lot of you have seen this before. This is the annual risk-based capital update. This is a simple technical date change. RS 0272 concerns group-funded pools. This is a technical change on the due date for their premium tax. 0472 also concerns group-funded pools. This is repealing one of the assessments that the department conducts on these pools. It's a fee, so to speak, and this would be returning that fee back to the pools. RS 0469 concerns the Commissioner of Insurance and the flexibility to lower licensure fees associated with agents and agencies. 0273 concerns prepaid service plans, more specifically repealing the $2 registration fee for representatives of those plans and simplifying another registration requirement there. RS 0276 concerns the department's enforcement statute. There's a technical change that we want to make there. RS 0274, this concerns agents failing to pay premium to their company when they have used the premium for another purpose other than paying their insurer. That's really a technical change. RS 0275 concerns third-party administrators and repealing the third-party administrator exemption from the Pharmacy Benefit Manager Licensure Act. RS 0483 that reconciles the definition of small employer in two definitions in Chapter 40. RS 047, this is the last one, RS 0471, and that concerns health and maintenance organizations. Before they can transact business in the state of Kansas, they have to submit certain financial projections. This eliminates some of those requirements and clarifies some confusing regulations there too. So I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
All right, I think the questions will probably arise if we work these bills. So stay tuned tomorrow. Those will be read in, and they are entered into the process. Thank you. All right, moving right along. I think we have an insurance commissioner who would love to introduce herself to us. Welcome to committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Vicki Schmidt. I'm the insurance commissioner, and I'm a Virgo, just like the chair. Great way to start the year. I have to say I have been before the Senate committee already, and they didn't have near as much fun as you guys did. But anyway, just an observation. Well, it is great to see all of you again, and I do appreciate the opportunity to come and bring you up to date on some of the happenings of the insurance department. I actually served on the FI&I committee for my 14 years in the Kansas Senate, and it was a real pleasure. So, but I also want you to know that I do appreciate the sacrifices that each one of you make by being here and serving your constituents and taking the time out of your schedules and your careers and your lives to come up here and serve. It's really important, and I want to thank you for that. Well, the mission of the insurance department is to regulate, educate, and advocate. And I hope I'm going to touch on each one of those mission statements as we move along. My goal as commissioner is to efficiently carry out the duties of the office and also protect consumers along the way. A couple of you that have battled insurance companies, we might have some job openings for you. I want you to know how committed I am to serving the constituents of the state of Kansas and to serving you also and to making things better for the insurance industry along the way. So the legislature was very good to us in 2021, and you passed Senate Bill 37. It redid our complete licensure of our agents and allowed us to update our processes, and we transferred our operations to the National Insurance Producer Registry, also known as NIPR. That was, as the bill was being considered, you know, we're always asked to do the fiscal notes, and we estimated that the department would reduce our revenues by about $5.2 million over a 2-year period of time, saving the industry money and also lowering the cost of doing business in Kansas. To date, that figure is $4.5 million. And we are on track to meet and possibly exceed that $5.2 million by the end of this fiscal year. Senate Bill 37 was just the beginning of the process for us in making things happen and decreasing our overall, making us a lot more efficient. So we also started live scan fingerprinting. Many of you know that when the pandemic hit, all the fingerprinting things were shut down in our state, and nobody was doing any. We couldn't get our producers licensed because of that. So we started looking at some ways that we could improve things and make things, again, more efficient. So at the beginning of last year, there were only 3 spots in Kansas that could do live scans, and I'm happy to report that due to the due diligence of many on the staff at the insurance department, we now have over 20 places in Kansas that offer live scans, and we're constantly working with the KBI on getting more opportunities available. We've also lowered those fees. We had charged $60 for fingerprinting. That's a pass-through cost for us, and we had charged $60. We now know that we can do it for $50 and align that for the cost of doing business, and so we've reduced those fees. I want to let you know that one of the bills, I kind of got lost in the 10, but one of those bills does just that. The current statutes read that the insurance department, I'm going to just throw out a number, please don't quote me on it, but like that, to get a license in Kansas, it costs, I'll throw out a ridiculous number, costs like $500 to get a license in Kansas. It doesn't, but anyway, throw out a number. And it says the statute names that number. Well, we're looking for flexibility, and we would like you to add the words up to $500. We don't want to increase what we charge, but we'd like the opportunity to be able to decrease, just like we did on the fingerprinting fees. And I know you'll hear more about that from Mr. Turek in the session if you hear that bill. But the flexibility is what we're after there. It's not only fees that we look at, though. There are several bills this year that we're introducing that will eliminate overly burdensome regulations or statutes that we have, and quite frankly, unnecessary fees. In the Securities Division, you have helped us in ending the statutory sweep of the Securities Act fee fund, and that allowed us to put a moratorium or to continue the moratorium that we had on the securities fees. In fiscal year 22 and 23, by that moratorium saved the industry about $32 million. We expect that number to continue rising because as we resume the fees in fiscal year 2024, they will be significantly lower than what we've charged previously and prior to that moratorium. So we hope that you'll help us do that. A core part of the division's mission is our educational efforts, and we've really beefed that up on our security side. I don't know whether any of you went to the KU Iowa State football game at KU in October or the K-State game in November, but the Sunflower Showdown, actually, the KU K-State game, was a lot different weather in those two situations. One was really nice and sunny, and then the other was rainy, cold, and it felt like freezing rain was falling on me. But anyway, we let a student have an opportunity to kick a football through the uprights and gave them $500 for if they made it. I'm happy to report that the male in the KU game and the female in the KU K-State game both were successful. She was a soccer player and she booted it through the first time. I was so thankful because it was cold. Last night, if you were at the K-State game, we actually gave a young man an opportunity to hit a layup, a free throw, and a three-point shot for $500. He got 2 out of 3. I'm a softie. We gave him the $500. But I know. So, you know, yes, under education. So, kind of carrying on that sports theme, the Securities Department did relaunch a website this year, ks.gov, and it has a sports theme to it, and it's an investor education initiative. We use that sports theme all the way around it. We talk about investment fraud. We talk about the different type of investments. We help identify things for whether you're a rookie investor or a veteran investor. We want to try to meet people where they are because we need to make tools available to them. Things like being able to check out if your broker is licensed in Kansas. There's a lot to talk about in the fraud area, and I'd be happy to share that with you anytime, but if you know of anyone that they think may have been a victim of fraud, please send them our way, and we'd like to investigate that. We will investigate that. But speaking of fraud, also on the insurance side, well, on both sides of the house, we have law enforcement officers that actively investigate both fraud on the insurance side and the security side. When we find fraudulent activity, we build the case and then we send it over to the AG's office for prosecution. I'm really glad to report that in 2022, we doubled the amount of fraud cases that we referred for prosecution to the AG's office from the year prior. So we're really looking at those things. Unfortunately, the trend is that when the economy is a little tougher, the fraud cases increase. And that drives up the cost of doing business, and certainly it has an impact on everyone. So we are very diligent in that work. But I think, you know, where we'd like to back up the train a little bit, because where we really want to meet people is before they invest in fraudulent activity or before they are a victim of fraud. So we're really trying to hone in on our education of that and try to make people see where that could be, where that's critical. We introduced 2 bills. I don't think they were in this bunch of bills. Just for reference, we only have 3 additional ones that are, I think, still being worked on, but lucky number 13. But we are introducing 2 bills this session. One is to protect vulnerable adults from securities fraud, and then one is a victims restitution fund that we have introduced before, we made some. We're looking at both of those again, and we'll bring those. I'm not sure if we're not in charge of where things are assigned, so I'm not sure whether they'll come to this committee or to the pensions committee. But regardless, as voting members in the House, I hope you see both of them. Just last week, I did want to give you some good news on the securities fraud front. Last week, an Arizona man was convicted of fraudulent activity with 2 Kansas investors and recovered $550,000 for those 2 investors. And again, those crimes are not small, but they can be very damaging to individuals. So consumer assistance, this is absolutely my favorite topic to talk about in the world of insurance. We do, you know, as a well, I'm still a pharmacist, but as a pharmacist, you know, consumer protection is a big part of what I grew up, consumer assistance and helping people. And so this is a great place for the insurance department to be. And I would put our team up in consumer assistance against anybody's. We have some rock stars there, and we want to be the people that you call when you have trouble with your needs or your constituents' needs or your family and friends. We want you to send them to us. I want to tell you that I probably don't have much of a life sometimes, and on Saturday nights, sometimes I'm cruising through Facebook looking for people that have insurance issues. And I know, don't talk to my husband about it, because, like, just don't. He's not even on Facebook anymore. I can't stand it, Vicki. Okay, fine. But anyway, I go through and look for things. Amazing. I'm going to rat out somebody that you probably know. I had to read about Representative Patton's problem about an insurance company on Facebook. Now, how bad is that, right? I know. So don't you worry. We took care of Fred. But don't make me read about these things on Facebook. Please, please, because I will track you down. I will find you. But no, in all seriousness, you know, people sometimes post things that, you know, they're having issues and they want, you know, it's a bad day for them, right? And they post it. So if I can find somebody that knows them that I know or whatever, and we try to help them out. By statute, I also serve as a member of the State Employee Health Care Commission, and or HCC or the SEHP, either way. But anyway, it's interesting that I serve as a member of that committee, but yet my department doesn't handle the complaints that come from for the state employees because they're a self-funded plan, and we do not have jurisdiction over self-funded plans or things like Medicaid. But I will tell you that even though we don't have jurisdiction over them, we're happy to take those complaints. We have connections. We know people. We can get the self-funded claims onto the Department of Labor to our connection there, and certainly the SEHP, we can get it onto them. I think it's that's an important part of our job. Oftentimes you as a legislative body will ask us for statistics, or you'll ask us about what we're hearing complaints on, and it's really good for us to be able to regurgitate some of our findings back to you and our numbers and things. And so keep letting us know about those things. I do want to tell you that during my first term, in my first 4 years, We have recovered over $26 million for Kansas consumers through our Consumer Assistance Division. That's a really big number, but 2022 marked a milestone for us. We recovered $7.6 million in 2022 for Kansans in recoveries for policyholders. So again, I think I'd put us up against anybody. I think we're really good at our jobs, and I want you to know we don't just talk the talk. We don't just talk about helping people, we actually get it done. So if you have an insurance issue, let us know. I know that people often tell me, oh, I didn't want to bother you with that. I didn't want to call you with this. I thought, I wanted to take care of it myself, but it's been 3 months, or, I wanted to take care of this myself. You aren't a bother to us. This is our job. This is part of our mission and part of what we do. So you're not a bother to us. Let us help you out. You're just bother myself and my staff. We're here for that. Before I close, I want to introduce you to our key contacts that are with me here today. You've already met Eric Turek, and many of you know Eric. Eric has came to us this year, and he replaces Lee Modisette, who went to the private sector. And I know that many of you know him from his time in the Speaker's office, and we were really thrilled to have Eric join the team. We also have a new member of Kyle Strathman. He is the Public Affairs Manager, and Kyle joined us after having spent several years doing communication for the AG's office, and he's already hit the ground running, and we're excited to have him on board. Might have written this speech, I don't know. And I have Leanne Crow. Leanne Crow is the Director of Consumer Assistance, so she's the rock star I've been talking about. Her and her team are the first people to talk with Kansans when they call in. And by the way, you do talk to a real live person when you call our office. You don't talk to an answering machine. If you have to leave a message, it's because all the lines are busy. Sometimes after storms that does happen. But I guarantee you we're going to get back to you absolutely as soon as we can. And I'd say on 99% of the time by the close of business that day. But her staff is really trained in dealing with people compassionately and very professionally. Most times when people are calling us, it's a really bad day for them, if not one of the worst days of their life. If your home's been taken away by a storm, or you've had a car accident, you can't get a medical procedure approved, you're having trouble getting drugs covered on your benefits plans. We talk to them, and they're very good at what they do. So, and Leanne, I know will share. Well, I think in our testimony we have shared with you her direct line number, so you can get a hold of her directly. Mandy Rowe is no stranger to the Capitol. She's my chief of staff, and she's been with me for more than 4 years, but if you need anything at the department, please don't hesitate to contact them. If you contact any one of us, we will get you to the right person, I'll guarantee you. Give us a little time. If it's a really complicated issue, we got to figure out where we're going with it, but we will get you to the right person. I look forward to working with you this session. Our agenda, I know Eric emailed to all of you in the fall, our legislative agenda, and I just want to reiterate once again that our agenda is designed to improve our overall operations, to provide clarity for the insurance industry because they are a partner of ours, and to better protect Kansans. And lastly, I just want to thank Eileen. Mr. Chairman, I think you're very lucky to have a reviser like Eileen and David, but Eileen is the one we've been working mostly with to get all of our bills ready for introduction. And we try to start working with her, not like she doesn't refuse to work with us, but I mean, we try to start working with her early on in September or October when we're ready, so that we can be ready for you when you start the session. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, and I've got staff to back me up.
All right, well, thank you, Commissioner. Committee, any questions for the Insurance Commissioner? This is your opportunity, yes. Representative Neighbor.
Thank you, Commissioner, for being here today. We have had offers in the past looking at insurance coverage that, well, as an example, the Farm Bureau brought us about 7 bills a couple of years ago. But one of those that has been lingering is a very inexpensive insurance coverage issue. And I know they offer it. There are another couple of small groups that do, and I know that you have not taken a position on this. But I have had some calls of complaints. One particular gentleman who was, I believe, a pharmacist, thought he had a good plan, ended up having to have cardiac surgery, and they said, oh, you're not covered. So he was out $150,000, which is something that I had worried about in the beginning. It wasn't, the plan just wasn't as easy to define or describe, or a lot of people didn't understand. For that person, who can I direct their concern to?
Well, I think you're talking about short-term limited duration
Yes.
plans. At least I would assume that's what you're talking about. You know, I will say that the department has not taken a position on, I want to address that right up front. The department has not taken a position on that because we do believe that's a decision that the legislature should make on how and if they should be able to do business the way that they are. That's a decision for you all to make. We would be happy to take the complaint, and we can, you know, and that goes back to kind of like if we don't know about the problem, we can't do anything about it, and then we can't tell you about if there are problems with short-term limited duration plans. So I would encourage him to give the Consumer Assistance Division or give Leanne a call, and we will start on that. We will make sure that all of the contracts, we do not get in the business of getting in between the person and the contract, but we do enforce what the contract says. So we will look for any discrepancies in what they have paid and what the policy actually said to be paid for. And you know, short-term limited durations have been a topic that the legislature has at least inquired about through the years, and I know you've had some informational hearings along the way, but.
Well, and the person just asked if you've been keeping track of any claims you might have received so that we have an idea of how it's really working.
Yeah, yes, of course, and we would love, that's why we need to know about the issues that arise. You know, I have said, yeah, it goes back to my time as a senator, and I know that all of you are in constituent services now because that's what part of your job is. And, you know, I didn't always like the answer I got when a constituent asked me a question, but I always wanted to get them an answer. And I feel the same way in this job. We may not like the end result of what we had, but we will at least get them an answer of why something isn't covered.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Representative.
All right, further questions from the committee? I think we'll have plenty of opportunity as we work through some of these bills, but for now, I think you're off the hook.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again for allowing us to come and be with you today. And I look forward to working with all of you. And this side of the room is a little heavy on the agent side, so be fun. Thank you.
All right, committee, we currently, until these bills get read in, don't have bills on our agenda yet. And so not knowing where these will end, I think most of these will end, yes. You said not Revisor Marble. I'm sorry? Okay, Eileen, you have something to add?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The bills are all drafted and have been approved. All I need to do is get them packaged and up to the floor. If I can't get all, 10 of them set for tomorrow delivery, they'll go in on Friday.
Very good.
You should have a full slate for next week.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well then, committee, you heard it. You heard it here. We will not be having a meeting on, well, let's see, this is already Wednesday. We weren't going to do a meeting on Friday anyway. So on Monday, let's just go ahead and assume that's going to be on call of the chair. I don't see a meeting happening on Monday of next week, but on Wednesday, let's start looking at it, because I think we'll have some stuff by then and we'll be able to dig in and get to work. So, first off, any input from the committee? This is where the good of the order comes to mind. Yes, Representative Bergquist.
Well, I don't know about any signs. I'm not a Virgo or anything like that, but I am O positive, which means I'm compatible with most everybody.
Well, thank you for that. All right, then. In that case, if that's the extent of the good of the order, then we're going to adjourn until at least Wednesday of next week.